So far, I think we've been pretty well rewarded. A genuine pleasure, as always, to be here as well. Thank you.
That's good to have company on a Monday, and when company brings food and beverages along, it's even better. You know what I mean?
I do.
Who'd you bring with you today?
Well, I have my executive chef, Jason Franklin, who has been with Two Bandits Brewing Company since the beginning, and he's brought some absolutely amazing things with him today as well. There's, of course, our craft beer. So give him a quick second here and let him tell you what we brought.
Jason, what kind of food? The beer is always great, but last time he was in here, we twisted his arm and we said, you know, the food's awful good too. You got to bring some food next time. And Mark, being the guy that he is, says sure. And now you're here. So what'd you bring for us today?
Well, today we have duck skin chicharrones with a sticky blood orange bourbon sauce. Another appetizer that we brought is pork belly with asparagus, and that comes with a lemon basil dipping sauce. And then I made a duck à l'orange pizza with cauliflower crust, smoked Gouda, duck, and oranges.
Oh my gosh.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like good stuff. We're in Northwest Ohio, Jason. You know that?
Yeah, we are.
Like something you get in New York. You know what I mean?
Well, we bring the big city to the small towns of Ohio, and they appreciate it real big.
Yeah, they really do. Give me a little background on yourself. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Payne, Ohio. Went to Wayne Trace High School.
Okay.
Was working as a dietitian when I met Mark and Bob.
And Mark and Bob are pretty good salesmen, obviously.
Yeah, they have a big dream, and when they set me down and told me about their big dream, you know, I was worried for them at first, but I was on board. So I knew that we were going to do big things and great things, and they have not let me down.
Fantastic. Well, a little teaser for the folks who are hanging around on the other side of the news here at the top of the hour in about 20 minutes. We'll talk a little bit more, but I have members of the Two Bandits Brewery with me right now, and I think we ought to eat all the food and drink all the beer before Dwayne gets here. How's that?
I agree.
I think that's a great idea. But we're going to talk racing, and we'll also talk food with the Bandits right after the high noon hour news, coming up in about 20 minutes here on the Q.
Good job.
Today we have guests. Dwayne, we've already done a little teaser on this whole thing.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I was listening.
And you're very lucky that we saved you any food today.
Well, I figured it was gone.
We sat down and chatted a little bit, and I said, man, you know what? I don't think we ought to wait on Dwayne. And Mark said,
you didn't have to.
No, we got to wait on Dwayne, you know. And then Jason said, no, that wouldn't be very nice if we didn't wait on Dwayne. And I said, the heck with it, it's just Dwayne Hancock.
See, Mark's had my back for like 30 years now, almost. So you know.
I understand now.
That's how deep our friendship goes. So you know.
well, Mark made sure that everything worked out extremely well. It's good to have Mark back in here. And Jason as well, as we kick off on the throttle here today. And I think, Dwayne, you'll have to admit the same thing. We have a lot of good Monday afternoons, but none of them can compare with the afternoons when Mark brings in beer and food, right?
Yeah, I mean, how can you beat that? I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you've heard of cake and eggs. This is like, you know, on the throttle, and it kind of goes hand in hand.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It does, entirely. It goes totally hand in hand. And before we get into the food part, which is the important part here today, and the beverage part, just give you a quick overview. Racing pretty good over the weekend. Were you guys
Excellent.
able to get out and go?
Excellent. Yes, several tracks. I actually made it a 3-race weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was at Lima Friday, Fremont Saturday, and Kokomo last night, and several of the tracks, I think, all of them in our area got in, and from what I've heard and read, and the races I've seen were all excellent. I mean, all 3 that I went to were just amazing. Great crowd. Fremont was a packed house, and heard that from a lot of places.
Fantastic. All right, enough race talk now. Let's get back to talking about food and beverages that were brought to us today by 2 bandits. Mark Young again with us, and his head chef, Jason. What's Jason's last name again?
Franklin.
Franklin. Okay, I tried to put that in that one living brain cell, but there was just not enough room there anymore. Mark, let's talk just a little bit. You guys now, how long has 2 Bandits been alive?
We have been rocking and rolling now for 14 months.
Yeah, so a little over a year.
Yes.
And this summer, I know you have motorcycle cruise-ins. Basically, you have a motorcycle night.
Yeah, that's correct. We do what we call Bikes and Brews, and the second Thursday of every month, starting in April, going through October. We invite you to come down with your 2-wheeled pride and joy. As some of you know, I kind of like motorcycles myself, so it kind of goes hand in hand, right?
Huh?
The first one in April was an outstanding success. We had over 100 bikes show up on a Thursday night, and it was a lot of fun. We give away some of our 2 Bandit pint glasses, some of our shirts. Everyone has a good time, plenty of good food, good beer to go around.
Yeah, it looked like it. I saw up on Facebook the bikes out on the street in Hicksville. Yeah.
So
Yes,
that
indeed.
means the next one's this Thursday.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. That's right,
Yeah.
Dwayne.
The 10th.
Uh,
So what do we have planned for this Thursday for any of the bikers that are listening right now and want to come over?
Well, we still have our limited edition Cinco de Mayo beer, which is called Angel. And it was named after a fallen friend, Angel Flores. It is a sublime beer. It gets you kicked in for the spring and summer season. It is lime forward with just a hint of cilantro at the finish,
Okay.
a little bit of pepperiness at the end. It's very light. It's very crisp. It goes with red meats. It goes perfect with salads, obviously with Mexican food. So it's a very, very good beer.
Yeah, big night on Saturday night on Cinco de Mayo.
It was. We were blessed. We had a lot of fun. We had live music. We had a couple of gentlemen with acoustic guitar and a pop viola of all things, and
wow.
it was a lot of fun, and we were jumping.
That sounds like it was a good time. Jason, I'm always amazed at the way the kitchen gets the food out the door, man. You guys are hustling back there.
Oh yeah, it's a nonstop grind.
Yeah, it is. You told me today that you got your son in there with you too.
Yeah, he's jumped up with us, and we started him off on dishes. Now he's on the line, and he's a young man, and he's got a good head for the business.
Did that come with from that this Is this his lineage, do you think?
I hope so. I hope he makes a big career out of it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, you know, it's in his blood, I believe, at this point in time.
Yeah, definitely.
You do an awful lot with a very small staff, too. I mean, you don't have a lot of room, first of all, in that kitchen, necessarily.
Right.
So you can't put 25 people back there to try to help you. But how many folks help you back there?
Including me, there's 4 of us back there.
Okay. You do all the cooking?
Actually, I just make sure that everything that goes out the window is uniform and it looks the same as it should, and make sure that everything's up to temp.
Yeah.
I have 2 girls that have been there since the beginning, Elijah Schmidt and Sarah Kenner, and they are a big part of what's going on back there. Sarah's definitely the right side of my brain, so she helps me out quite a bit, and you know, without those girls and Zayden, we wouldn't be, able to do what we're doing. But everybody's pretty dedicated. Yeah,
no doubt about that, Mark. You have to be very happy to have that crew with you. They've been there since the beginning, right?
Oh, without a doubt. Bob and I are very, very fortunate men in many respects. But obviously, the kitchen is a big part of Two Bandits. Obviously, we say you come for the beer, but you stay for the food, and you're indeed right, Jim. All 3 of them have been with us since the beginning, and they are integral and core to that kitchen. They are the heart of the kitchen.
Yeah. And then Bob brews all the beer.
Bob is my business partner as well as the brewmaster. We also have an assistant brewer, a young man by the name of Adam Vasquez.
Okay.
And he, in his own right, is very, very talented, and he has assisted Bob, and we are bringing our beers to bigger and better heights. There's always refinement going on because good enough is never good enough.
Yeah.
And so we're always looking to make them better, make them cleaner, crisper, better tasting. And so, it's an ongoing search.
Your beer now is featured at other restaurants than just Two Bandits, isn't it?
Oh, that's true. We actually are right here in Bryan at Stony Ridge Winery. We've been there since last August. We have 4 of our taps on, and we have the wonderful fortune of being in Toledo now at a brew pub called the Casual Pint.
Wow, that is something. I'm talking to Bob that night. He said that. I asked him, how do you keep on top of that? That's got to be a lot of beer to brew, and he admitted that was quite a job to be able to shuffle around all the brews, not only for your location nowadays, but for everything else that you have going on.
Oh, it's true. And we still struggle with production. I mean, there are many nights on a Friday night or a Saturday night that a lot of our flagship beers get drank out for the week. It's not unusual to come in on a Saturday night and Dead Frog or Killer Bee or even Rasmanian Devil, they're just gone. And I mean, we do our best, and we have full production going 6 days a week, and it's just not enough.
Yeah, well,
it's probably the days that Jim's been there.
Yeah, I think I did
or you, Dwayne.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
I did my best that night to try to help the economy just a little bit, and it was delicious.
We appreciate that.
It really was.
I kind of got an idea. What's kind of some of the unique bikes you have? Because we had Jeff Hires in here that's been from RPM Promotions doing all these motorcycle races in the area. He just did the Paulding one, and he's trying to get some other. And he threatened to take Jim for a ride in a sidecar on a motorcycle. Yeah. So I know awesome. Jeff likes to listen to our show now, and he's a big bike guy. And he was I was telling him about your bike and brew deal. So maybe we can get Jim to be a sidecar act or something over here at these bike and brews.
He also here's the exciting part of that story. The first week, you know how I am. I'm pretty cocky about the whole thing. So I guaranteed him a nice weekend for his races on that weekend, and his comeback was, so if I don't get that, I come back and punch you in the face. And I said, oh, sure. No problem whatsoever. Well, the last couple, not this past weekend, but the 2 weekends before that, 2 weekends ago, where it rained like about 13 feet that day. Yeah. Yeah, that was the weekend. Okay. So the next Monday there during the program, I get a little text that says, I'm on my way over to give you a punch in the face. So that's the sidecar part doesn't scare me much, okay? The next week he had a wonderful event, and they had a lot of people out there, and everything worked out extremely well.
I made up for it then.
Yeah, and thank goodness everything worked that weekend. Otherwise, I think by that next Monday he would have been here today.
Well, yeah, but I think, we could get a racing bike with a sidecar and gym.
Yeah.
I mean, this bike and brew thing could get big all of a sudden. I mean,
it could be a lot of fun. What do you have? To Dwayne's point, what kind of bikes show up on your nights?
We at Two Bandits, we don't care what you ride, we care that you ride.
Yeah.
And so with that mantra, we get things from everywhere. I mean, we have a club from Fort Wayne that usually brings around 20 or 30 bikes, everything from obviously your Hurleys, your big twins, Indians, to late Japanese iron, old Airhead BMWs, Ducatis, Triumphs, Moto Guzzis, you name it. And we love to see the diversity, and I think everybody else does too. It's like a rolling bike show. It's really something to see.
There's other people that have Triumphs besides you?
Oh, believe it or not.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
You didn't buy them all up.
Yeah.
Because they're so cool.
All right, well, I've got Jason and Mark from Two Bandits here today with us, and there is food over there, and it has smelled extremely good in this studio for about 40 minutes right now, Dwayne.
And you haven't tried any of
And
it
I've
yet?
not tried any
What
of it. So it is time right now to take a commercial break so that we can set that up, and we'll talk food and chat a little bit with the guys from Two Bandits right after this time out. You're on the throttle with Dwayne and Jim here on a Monday afternoon on the Q.
Northwest Ohio's
Nice.
largest
who is the head chef over at Two Bandits Brewery, has gotten out some food that looks absolutely delicious. And Dwayne is sitting over there on his side there next to Mark. And Jason, give us a feel for what you have here in front of us right now.
All right. Well, over here we have a duck skin chicharrone, which is we just take our duck breast, we grind everything in house, and we work it over there. We weren't sure what to do with our duck skins. You just can't throw them out. So we decided to play around with them, and chicharrones have turned out pretty good for us.
What is it? Chicharroni.
It's almost like a pork rind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's deep fried and baked.
Okay.
Oh, it's got to be good if it's deep
Yeah.
fried.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Anything deep fried is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
And then with it, I made a sticky blood orange bourbon sauce to
Okay.
to dip it in. It is super sticky. It's good though. It's sweet and it doesn't have too
Here
much
comes
tartness
Jim.
with
I'm
it.
turning
Here
the
comes Jim.
microphone around the other side here so that I can be part of this because it just looks really good to me. Give it a try.
Oh,
there,
I'm
Wayne.
gonna try it,
What do you
but-
got here? What do you
All
have
right.
in yours?
This is a pork belly, and I've
Okay.
cut some slots in it, and I've laced
That is sticky.
asparagus spear through it.
And you grow your own asparagus too, is what
Yeah,
you're telling me.
my dad actually planted the asparagus patch back in '78, and we still harvest off of it.
Wow, that's amazing. The other sauce that you have along with this, what's the white sauce?
All right, this is a lemon basil dipping sauce. It goes good, freshens up your palate.
Yeah.
It's a good sauce to have. And then the pizza over here is duck breast with oranges, smoked Gouda on a vegan cauliflower crust.
Oh wow.
So also extremely good.
Boy, that is sticky. That is one sticky
It is.
sauce too, isn't it, huh?
Yeah.
Delicious.
It is.
Wow.
It's just for gear oil and the motorcycles. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And that
Very
asparagus-
good.
Oh man, I love
Yeah.
asparagus anyway. So this
That's
is fresh.
fresh.
This is this year's.
That's the first pick of the year for us. We had asparagus last night with supper too.
That is phenomenal. So again, what the asparagus is what now again? So I know when I come back over to make sure I know what I have to order here.
Oh, these aren't things that we're actually carrying on our menu
Oh,
yet.
okay.
These are just things that we brought for
These are
the
tests.
Yeah.
Jason likes to do a lot of R&D because we rotate our menu 3 to 4 times a year, and so
Sure.
Jason is constantly thinking of new, unique items to put forth, to Northwest Ohio and Northeast Indiana, and so these are items that are strongly being considered for the next menu revision.
Wow, I'll tell you. What do you think, Dwayne? I'm strong.
I think it's excellent.
That's a great situation. No doubt
I think
about
so.
that.
Definitely.
Wow. We're gonna try another one of these, and then I'll grab some of that pizza too.
Definitely.
Wow, how do you
Duck
make
pizza?
that sticky?
Oh, you just gotta really work it down and cook it down.
Oh my gosh, it's almost for you. It's up on the live from the Funderdome. Is we got some video going right now,
Pizza.
but and you'll be able to see.
There's our camera.
There you go. You can catch the replay on it too, as us sitting here eating. This is probably not good radio etiquette. I know back in the '70s when I went through Ohio University, I'm sure my professor would have said, "Now, you don't eat on TV or on radio."
Oh well.
Makes it hard to be on the radio and to have a mouthful of food, though, too. It's like you have other people here that can to talk, keep up the conversation. But with all 4 of us eating right now, it makes it a little difficult.
People always say we're full of something, so we'll show them we're full of food.
Man.
Jason, that pizza's amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
So, Mark, what's the chances of these showing up on the menu here anytime soon?
Well, we're going to be going through another menu revision again here in the next couple of months, and so chances are very, very good. We do a lot of our flatbread pizzas anyway, and they prove very, very popular for us. And we do very unusual things. Anybody can do a pepperoni and cheese, but we're 2 bandits, and so we like to think outside of the proverbial box. And one of our pizzas that has proved very popular is our spicy Thai, and it is a peanut butter based pizza as opposed to tomato based. It actually has a peanut butter base that Jason has developed, and it has different types of spices and peppers on it, and it has 3 different versions. You can get the standard, the mild. You can get the spicy Thai.
Okay.
Or if you're really in for a death wish, we have one called the Crazy Thai, and it will kill you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, I don't have it. That's what I'll be eating while I'm drinking the dead frog. I'll be eating
Oh, wait,
that
you drink
in,
more.
in the sidecar.
Right
I'll
on.
be drinking that and eating this while I'm in the sidecar of that bike that you're going to put me in.
Right.
And Jason, you were going to tell us a little bit about that, though?
Yeah, it also has shrimp on it.
Ah, okay.
So peanut butter shrimp.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I'm telling you what, this stuff is delicious.
Yeah, get some of those duck skins there.
Yeah, you know what?
I really like that. That was the
Whatever-
first time I've ever had duck.
Really?
Yes.
Whatever brought
So-
to mind bringing duck to Northwest Ohio, Jason?
Mark Young.
Mark Young?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jason.
He said, I was at this place and I had a duck burger. I want to
Okay.
see if we can do that.
Okay.
And we found these frozen pre-pattied things, and we were like, nah, that just doesn't look right. Doesn't feel right for us. So we brought in duck breasts, and we started grinding them ourselves and turning them into patties ourselves. And,
Oh, wow.
you know, when we first started, and we had a customer come in, and they just wasn't having it. There's no way you'll sell one duck burger in this town.
Yeah.
We can't hardly keep it in stock.
Really?
It sells that well.
So where's the duck come from? Yeah, you guys hunters?
The sky.
Yeah, the sky. Yeah.
There's a company called Maple Leaf Farms,
Okay.
and
okay.
their claim to fame is fowl.
Yeah.
They do ducks. That's what they do, and so they come from them, and Jason and Sarah, they come in. It's a big breast. They clean them every day. They are ground fresh every day. It's a burger patty consistency.
Sure.
Has smoked Gouda
Okay.
and avocado on it, and it is sublime. It is amazing. We have people that come from Fort Wayne specifically for our duck. It's called Are You Ducking Kidding Me?
Well, I mean, where else do you get duck really around here? I don't think there's
Right.
that many opportunities, but I'm sure there are.
Right.
But right here in Northwest Ohio, that you've got a corner on the market, I believe.
We have burger nuts that claim it's the best burger they've ever eaten, and technically it's not a burger.
Man, that is amazing. Oh man, I'll tell you what. Jason, you're trained how? Where'd you get your experience?
Well, I went to Hocking College down in Nelsonville, Ohio. That's where I got all my experience from. But my grandmother was
crazy sticky,
a
isn't
super
it?
cook. That's where I wanted to learn how to cook, and watching her cook.
That's good.
And I've just been doing it ever since.
Man, keep it up, will you?
Yeah, no problem.
That is delicious. And that asparagus, thank goodness it's that time of year when the asparagus is fresh again.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
We look forward to it over at my house. It's always a big. I live beside my dad, so it's always a big battle. Who's going to get down there first and pick it so that they have it? So.
I have a friend, Lou Pendleton, who might be listening, but she supplies a lot of wonderful asparagus to me every year. And I had a hardest time trying to figure out how that stuff grew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's unlike kind of anything else you got. These big old sprouts that you got that are, in her case, are probably 8-10 inches long and a big old top on it and everything when you bring it in fresh. Now it cooks up and gets smaller as it cooks. Okay,
Right.
but boy, to see that
Well, sticky that
and then to realize how it grows and how quickly it grows and how quickly it replenishes itself and everything just had me stunned. I couldn't figure it out, so I had to go out and see for myself one day to figure out how that works.
Oh yeah.
Mother Nature's amazing, and asparagus, fresh asparagus, is about as good as it gets, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's a joy.
Well, it really is. There's no doubt about that.
So you feed the bike people this stuff, and also because we don't promote drinking and driving on the throttle.
No.
You guys do your own root beer and stuff too, or you get it from somewhere, right? Or
Well, so we do our house root beer. And the initial thought was, or the point was, you know what? When Junior comes in with Dad, and he can have a crafted beer too. It just happens that this is a root beer,
Right.
And it has fresh local Paulding clover honey in it, and it's amazing. Humbly, I think it's very, very good. We usually roll through a couple kegs of that a week.
Wow.
yeah, and I've heard that. I've never tried it because I tried the big boy beer, but
If your dad brought you, if your dad takes you over to Two Bandits, then you'll have to drink the root beer.
well, I took my dad there, so I drank the beer and so did he. So that backfired.
Canceled each other out of that.
Yeah, I canceled each other out. That was, but no, and I've heard that. But some of the people I have took when we've had a work dinner meeting over there, and that couple of them had root beer, and they're like, "Man, this is amazing root beer." And I wanted to bring that up because you guys do everything. I mean, because there is some people that don't drink beer or don't like beer, but you have your homemade. You have other stuff too that's really good. I mean, I wanted to bring this one reason.
Yeah,
I wanted to bring
thank
up
you,
the root beer deal.
Can you
And plus,
take
we don't promote drinking and driving on here.
Oh no, not
At all.
No,
I mean,
not
you
at
know.
all. It's not that.
They're
the two don't go
responsible.
together. They're responsible people. No doubt about that.
Mark knows that.
Oh, yeah.
Can you take a growler of root beer home with you, just like you take the beer home with you?
Absolutely, indeed. We have growlers, which our 64 ounces or 4 pints, and we also do its baby brother, the Howler, which is 32 ounces or 2 pints, and we'll gladly fill that with our home crafted root beer just as easily as you could get one of our delicious craft beers.
Wow, that is fantastic. Oh man, wonderful stuff.
See, sounds like I've been there a few times.
Just a couple.
And I'm trying to promote these bike people to get over there too.
They have a Dwayne Hancock wing now on the restaurant at this point in time. It's where they just put you over there when you've had a little too many and you can't go home.
Well, one of the funniest stories of this whole deal is, this has been. I'm proud of Mark because he's wanted to do some type of business for a long time, and him and I actually talked about starting a few different ones at one time, and didn't happen. But he never really experienced beer in his life until the first time he met me.
That's a true story.
Hancock introduced you to beer?
Yeah, I was a beer virgin. And don't get me wrong. I used to have a sip of beer from my grandpa when I was little. I started out in PBR like probably a lot of people did. But I tried to be a good boy, and I didn't really drink a whole lot until I was legal age at 21. But when that happened,
That's right.
I met Dwayne in college, and it was all over from there. So.
Yeah. So in essence, there would be no Two Bandits Brewery without Dwayne Hancock, I think.
Well, I don't know about that. Sure, if that's what you want to say.
He certainly was a guiding influence, let's say.
Dwayne Hancock guiding the person to beer. I just can't even.
See, I just branch everything: racing, bikes, breweries. It
is amazing how that works. There's no doubt about that. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, it's about 30 minutes after the hour of 12 o'clock. We got to step away for a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to taste a couple of the beverages that they brought along here today. And then we'll also, before the show's over, get into what happened over the weekend for racing and where Dwayne's going this weekend and where the racing will be around Northwest Ohio or our area. As you're tuned in to the On the Throttle program on Monday afternoon here on the Q.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever had duck.
To improve your mood. Follow hashtag For Your Mental Health, a collaboration of the 4-County Adams Board and the 4-County Health Department.
And we're back here on the Throttle on a Monday afternoon. Today we are eating and dining and having a great time, all thanks to Two Bandits Brewery over in Hicksville and Mark Young, one of the partners of the brewery. Mark, off mic, we talked just a little bit because you have so many specialty items on the menu. When it comes to ostrich and all types of kangaroo, where do you get meat like that around here?
Well, first of all, I want to point out that everything that we sell is USDA certified.
Okay.
So I mean, it's healthy. It's a healthy choice, and it's safe. Everything that we get comes from a company called Chicago Wild Game, and they ensure that everything we get is extremely fresh and wholesome and ready to go.
Yeah, Jason, it's got to be difficult to cook things like that, isn't it? I mean, that's not just throwing a burger on a grill.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It takes a different kind of handling from the moment we get it in to the moment we sell it out the window. We have to use kit gloves with it, and we take extra special care of everything that comes in through our doors and make sure that you're getting the highest and best quality that you can possibly get.
Yeah. How do you come up with ideas like this, guys? I mean, you open a restaurant, you figure, I got to have a burger, I need a chicken sandwich, I better have a couple salads, I better do this, I better do that. And restaurants come and go and open and close and stay open for years and years around here. But there's not been too many of them that say, we're going to use kangaroo, we're going to use this, python. I think, didn't you say you use a little python?
Yeah, last summer we couldn't keep it in stock. And quite frankly, the only reason that it is not on the menu this summer is because the supply has unfortunately evaporated. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's a wild-caught game, and they were concerned about being able to supply us with the quantities that we were using.
Well, if you turn on the news most weeks, you see that there's an overabundance of pythons down in Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Dwayne, if we just send him down
We could
on a
down
road
there.
trip, and, with a couple of his buddies.
Yeah.
Snake wrangler.
Yeah, we can do that.
He could bring a few of them back, and it really as big as what some of those things are.
Oh, I know.
That's right.
It wouldn't take many. He brings back a few 30-footers, and you got it taken care of.
Well,
Jason.
it's weird because I've heard of people down south in the pits of racetrack, snakes or sometimes alligators or something. Some of those places coming in. So see, we could go all about this. Go to the racetrack for our on the throttle program.
Yeah.
And we could wrangle up some snakes and gator and
There you go.
stuff for you. I mean,
Very convenient.
Should we bring them back live, Jason? Do you want them live back here?
Yeah, bring them on back live. We'll teach them a lesson.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a heck of an idea.
There's a mission.
I mean,
hey, and Dane, I think a guy like Dane, he looks like a snake handler.
well, yeah, he's smelling the food cooler in Georgia because he was just talking to us. So I think he.
You take BB Murray along too. It'd be a good use of his e-site here to get out there and go grab a couple snakes.
I'm not sure Dane. I mean, I've seen Dane do a lot of things, but handling a snake, I don't know.
Not a good
I
idea.
mean, I'm not sure.
Well, one
But
thing
yeah.
I do want to handle right now is what's in that case over there that Mark has. How's that? Because
And this goes very well with racing. See, we got to figure out a way to. I guess we can get some growlers, to take along
Yeah,
to the
there you
tracks
go.
and stuff. But
if you're just
something
tuning in,
about
we got Mark and Jason from Two Bandits Brewery over in Hicksville with us right now, and we're being fed and entertained here today. This is a little bit of a different on the throttle type program.
Yeah,
on
we're
the throttle, off the rails, maybe. Huh?
right. Well, we're promoting his bike nights, and we. I mean, I've been getting a lot of feedback from our bike, like when we had Jeff on for the bike races, and we've talked different things. I mean, we get a lot of feedback from the bike people and stuff, and so I think that goes hand in hand. I mean, it's a little different. We'll talk a little bit of racing.
Yeah.
And stuff, and
today, well, I
but,
don't know. There's no race fan that doesn't
well,
compete, I don't think.
and the thing is, not to get off topic,
That's it, or have a beverage.
there's a racing theme kind of over there too. It's there. Mark has motorcycles in there. I mean, he has he is a big motorcycle racing fan. I mean, he's got a bunch of different pictures and signs and stuff of different riders, autographed pictures and stuff. Because Mark went to the NDGP. I mean, he's been all over to motorcycle races and been in the pits and met some of the best ever in the world that's road bikes. And so
Been very fortunate, that's for sure.
yeah, and there is a racing theme when you go into this place, and we had a on the throttle unofficial race night over there, and I know like Hillard Miller and some of the racers local came over, and Hillard and his wife Barb's been over 2 or 3 times since, and Jim Payne, that's a local racer, he's been over there a few times since. I mean, there's 13, 14 people came over that night, and that it's never been there because we was doing that little racing program, and they like it, and maybe we'll have to get a few circle track car pictures in there too, or something.
I think so too.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that works out well. Mark, what'd you bring for us here today to sample there to sip on?
Well, I brought 3 of our craft beers. The first one is called the Morning Wood.
Okay.
And get your mind out of the gutter.
That's my favorite one.
And
my second favorite.
It's actually
007.
It's actually brewed with aromatic cedar, and so we literally cut up chunks of cedar and we microwave it to rid it of any pathogens, and then it literally is submerged in the beer for about a week and a half, and it floats around there, and a lot of the aromatics and the tannins then you get in the beer. So you have a nice, subtle, not overly hoppy beer that finishes very dry,
good.
almost like a white wine, and you get that real woody earthiness at the finish. It's sublime, and it's hard to really understand until you take a sip of it, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
That is my favorite. And
That's
last
your
time I was there, they was out, or they didn't have it that day. So
Did they realize that the man who started the whole program was there for that
here we go.
beer, and they were out? Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to try that trump card next time.
Boy, I think so. Pop that top there real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got
Our
a
opener
defect.
won't work. We've got a defective opener. That's not a good.
I think it's a defective operator.
There you go. So, Mark, do you bottle quite a bit of this, or is it? I mean, I know you have growlers, okay, and primarily most of the beer that you sell is right there. But you also bottle. There's 3 bottles of your beer right at this point.
We do bottle at a very, very limited basis because all the bottling is done by hand, and so the majority of what we do is kegged.
Yeah.
And we eventually will.
Okay. Yeah.
But right now we're just.
She's scored her.
And Morning Wood is
The Morning Wood is very, very energetic right now.
It's spunky, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh my!
It's all Dwayne Hancock.
It's your fault, Dwayne.
Just happy to see you.
We don't get in trouble over this.
No, we're going to keep this on the right side at the end. But,
a lot of foam in this one. I apologize.
yeah, no
I
problem.
think it got kind of stirred up on the right here.
So, when you how do you bottle the beer that you have? I mean, you basically
I mean, it actually goes, and so it goes from the fermenter directly into the bottles, and then we
Okay.
put a little bit of priming sugar in there, and then it sits for a period of 2 to 3 weeks. Now, this particular batch, how is it, Jason?
It's very good.
This one has actually been fermenting over the winter, so I mean, it's going to be very rich.
interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very good. We just brought this one back online.
Okay.
And we just brought out the next keg, the newest batch, if you will, just this last weekend. Cheers.
Wow. Yeah.
So
cheers.
I can get some of these in bottles off the record
Yeah,
to
there
take
you
with
go.
me on the road.
So you get that little bit of woodiness at the end, a little bit of earthiness, a little bit of hops in there. It's not over or anything like that, but it's just a subtle beer. It's just good to drink. It's great with red meats, with salads, or just sitting on the back porch watching the fireflies.
Yeah, no doubt. Jason, now do you try to design maybe a menu at times that goes with these beers? Is that what happens?
Yeah, we sit down and we talk about everything and how it can be paired, with the stouts and the IPAs and the wheats and everything. We are trying to work on making our own beer ketchup and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Right now we produce a Killer Bee Mustard Q, which is made in-house with our Killer Bee beer. And it's a honey mustard barbecue sauce that we use on wings or pretzel sticks, whatever you want it on, you can have it on. And it's a pretty good seller for us. So we want to see what else is out there and what else we can do.
That's amazing.
One thing Mark left out, that I all my racing fans that are listening, this Morning Wood would definitely taste good with some Eldora dirt or Lima dirt or Attica dirt or
There
O'Shea
you
dirt
go.
mixed
Yeah.
with it.
It tastes
I
good
mean,
with any dirt.
Yeah, any racetrack dirt would. I figure out a way to
It's amazing.
get Mark
how
to
that-
have me take some of this. Along.
Yeah, I think
mean,
maybe we need to get Mark to start supplying some of this to some of the racetracks.
well, I was thinking that he's in a couple restaurants and
Yeah.
that, and there's some of these tracks that sell some alcohol. Maybe
Maybe it's time.
this
to
could
get
be a new marketing prospect right here.
two bandits involved with something like that. I agree. That might be a good
Or I
idea.
just need to buy a keg and have it after the races in the back of Jay Kaiser Racing or Chad Wilson Racing trailer. I mean,
I think there needs to
we
be
could
a
we could do
kegerator
something like
there.
that.
I think I think you go talk to Jason Dietz. He can put a kegerator, I would think, in the next trailer.
You can, and
How's that?
Chad just got that trailer from Jason, so that could be,
Yeah. Now the second beer that we have.
This one's called the 007, and it's one of my personal favorites. It's actually an English pale ale, so it's a version of an IPA. A lot of people call them New England IPAs. My personal favorite is a Juice Box IPA, and you start out with a tangerine, a little bit of Tangelo, and you're going to finish, believe it or not, with subtle hints of pineapple and banana. And there's none of those fruits in there, mind you. That's just the different flavor profiles from the hops.
Wow, that's amazing. It's
good.
that is
That's real good.
It really, seriously, you guys make wonderful beer. If somebody's not been over
Thank you,
to
Jim.
Bandits, I'll tell you,
That's
they do. They make some great beer.
that's what I drink when they're out of Morning Wood is 007.
Yeah.
This beer pairs well with our seafood, any kind of seafood.
Okay.
So it's a good one to have on.
Some of the seafood items on the menu, Jason, that you got over there. What? Tell the folks a little bit about that end of the menu.
Well, we have barramundi, which is an Australian sea bass. Now, this is very fresh. They catch it swimming in the South China Sea.
Okay.
2 days later, it's in Hicksville, Ohio.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
So they clean it. We get a whole side of barramundi, which is a very large fish.
Okay.
And we break it down from there, and then we found this great mixture of herbs and stuff to put on it, and we fry it up, and it is a huge sandwich. We put bacon aioli on there, lettuce, tomatoes on a hoagie roll, and it hangs off both sides of the hoagie roll.
Oh wow.
Yeah, then we pack it full of shoestring fries on top of that. So,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot on that plate, and one of the good things is having something like this
Yeah.
to wash it down.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's good to have that handy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, every now and then those big hoagie buns, they got to have something to wash them down your throat.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
right.
Yep.
I saw that on the menu, the barramundi, last weekend we were over there, and I first of all couldn't pronounce it. Okay, we went back and forth as to probably how we guessed that'd be pronounced. And then I actually didn't do that at that point in time. But boy, it looked like it was a great choice.
Yeah. We had a menu item last year that was hard to pronounce. It was Japanese okonomiyaki,
Okay.
which
all right.
is a ramen pancake with fresh vegetables in it, bacon, nori, yum sauce, oyster sauce. I mean, it was huge.
Made fresh, I might add, every day.
Yeah. Look, actually, working with Iron Chef Steph Izzard is where she said that she was going to do it, and we talked about it, so I decided to bring it to Hicksville, Ohio, and she's still serving it in Chicago at her restaurant, Duck Duck Goat.
I'll be darned. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is.
See, that's why Mark and I has been friends. He's good for the big words and the fancy stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
just
The muscle.
yeah. There you go. I'm the beer sampler.
Mark, you got one more beer there that you brought with you?
I got one more. This one's called the Dead Frog, and for
yeah.
many fans of the brewery, this is their go-to. It's a double IPA, but don't let that scare you. My business partner Bob brews very, very, very smooth, and it belies its 10.3 ABV. It's a perennial favorite for everyone that comes to the brewery, and we struggle to keep this one in stock. So, cheers.
I think that's my go-to. Whether your go-to is the Morning Wood,
Wow.
my go-to is the Dead Frog. How's
Well,
that?
I hope Jeff Hires is listening today because he's going to bring that bike over, and you're going to drink a lot of this and get in that sidecar.
There you go.
And then we're going to video it for on the Throttle Facebook page. And
And I'm going to need a lot of this to get in.
we
that
better
sidecar.
better get an ambulance on standby just in case.
That's terrible. Oh, shucks. Well, guys, I'll tell you, we always look forward to having the two bandit crew come over. Jason, wonderful to meet you. What wonderful work you do over there.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you, too.
And Mark, yourself, thanks for coming by. I think the neat thing for anybody listening right now, when they hear the menu that you have, I think they'd be shocked at the price tag that goes next to that menu. because it really is not what you would see if you went to a big city like Chicago. You probably would spend $100 between a couple people getting out the door. But on your menu, man, it's $8, $10, $14, $12. I mean, it is a very, very reasonable night out if you go to Two Bandits Brewing.
It is. Thank you. It is, Jim. I mean, and we strive not only for, the quality, but we want to provide a fantastic place for people to come. And we realize that, people work hard. And so we want to be a place that they can come and they can relax and they can feel that that they're wanted. And we do very well at taking good care of you. So thank you for having us. Jim, it's always a pleasure. I'm always thrilled to be here.
Come back again. How's that?
Cheers.
No doubt. Thanks, guys. Dwayne, for the last couple minutes that we've got left here, why don't we tell folks where they can go racing this weekend?
Well, coming up this weekend, Eldora Speedway has one of my favorite weekends, Friday and Saturday. It's Let's Race 2. It's the best of both worlds. You have the World Outlaws making their first appearance at Eldora Speedway this weekend, Friday and Saturday, along with the best non-wing racers in the country, the USAC United States Sprint Car Division. So you get the premier series of traditional sprint cars and the premier wing series in the United States, 2 nights together, Friday and Saturday. For late model fans, the American Ethanol Series that was just down to Montpelier, Indiana, Saturday night had a great field of cars and some big names. Actually, McClure, Ohio, Rusty Slank won that. He dropped off the World Outlaw Tour we talked a couple weeks ago, and he went over there and picked up $4,000 win. Well, they got some big shows this weekend, Friday at Attica Raceway Park and Saturday at Fremont. Attica and Fremont take their 410 sprint cars off the schedule for this weekend. So with the Outlaws down to Eldora, that way if the teams want to go run with the big boys, they can. And their local series, the Fast Series, actually races in Sharon Speedway at the Ohio-Pennsylvania line, so they get to do a little bit of traveling if they want to. And up to Quincy, Michigan, the Sod sprint cars make their season opener up to Butler Battlegrounds this weekend too. So a lot of racing in the area, and I'll definitely be at Eldora Friday and Saturday, and we'll see what happens down there. Chad Wilson's had a little hauler issue, blew the hauler up or the truck up, leaving Lima Land Friday night. And Craig Mintz, big supporter, listener of our show, and actually the A-Main feature winner Saturday night at Fremont, called up Chad Saturday morning and says, us racers don't like seeing other racers sitting alongside of the road or sitting home. So Craig offered him a truck or a truck to use, and so we still got that nice Jason Dietz trailer down to Fremont Speedway this weekend, thanks to Craig Mintz. And Craig is actually going to let Chad borrow the truck for Eldora this weekend too. So yeah, I mean that's where all of them are this weekend, and everybody's open. Fremont ran this weekend, Oakshade, Toledo, Butler, Bearfield, Angola opens up for the regular racing season this weekend. Eldora's running. I mean, everybody, a lot of good races in the area this past weekend. I mean, the 3 that I seen were spectacular, and you even have, like at Fremont, NASCAR Infinity driver Chase Briscoe won the most popular NASCAR truck driver last year up the Infinity Series. Had an off weekend, so he's got a wing sprint car and a non-wing sprint car. So I've never been to Fremont Speedway. Pulls into Fremont Speedway, wins the non-wing feature, and goes from 17th to 6th in the wing feature. And this, you see a lot of this, and that's why the dirt track racing is so big now. Because you got Kyle Larson doing it, Case Kane doing it, Tony Stewart doing it now, and now here's Chase Briscoe that grew up. Which was kind of cool about him winning. His grandpa's own cars, clear back in the 50s, and had greats like Jack Hewitt, Jack Hodenshield, a bunch of people driving. And the Jack Hewitt name, what that means down from your hometown.
Big name right there.
Yeah, and they did a throwback to the old days of his family car, and Chase brought that out the first time Saturday night and won in it. So that was pretty cool, and he was happy because he only gets to race a sprint car. That is only his 3rd time all year and stuff. So yeah, a lot of good things happening. And Rusty Slank, speaking of him, he won at Attica Friday, and we talked about him winning Montpelier. So some local guys doing good.
Sounds good, man. It's always fun to hear about the local racing and talk about the local racing. And that's going to wrap it up for us today because we're heading towards 1 o'clock right here on the queue. As always, On the Throttle brought to you by your local Napa parts store here in Bryan. by Suburban Auto, by A.J. Dorr, Brian Ford, Jason Dietz Customs Collisions, Trailers and Trailer Repair, and Fast Forward Motorsports. And we do it every Monday right after the noon news. And we urge you to get out and do some racing this weekend and head over to Two Bandits Brewery over in Hicksville, either before or after.
Bearfield, Kokomo, Gas City, all those places you got to go through Hicksville basically to get there. You can stop in and have lunch on the way.
There you go. You guys mark your open what days?
Oh, Wednesdays and Thursdays, 5 to 10. Fridays, we're open 11 to 11.
Okay.
And Saturdays, 3 to 11.
And your motorcycle night is?
Second Thursday every month.
There you go. That'll wrap it up for us today on The Throttle. Great having you listening here on the Q 96.5 FM.
Well, that was a good one.
Oh, yeah.